Charlie Munger had a peculiar way of seeing the world. While most people worried about finding the best opportunities, he spent hours thinking about how to avoid the worst mistakes. And it was precisely from this obsession that one of the most valuable lessons emerged that he left for us, Brazilians or not, about money and human behavior. Imagine the following situation. You're at the end of the month, that familiar feeling that the money ran out before the days did. Then that tempting offer appears on the credit card, installment payments without interest, or perhaps that delivery that costs only 50 Rs. It seems harmless, doesn't it? It's just once, just today. Tomorrow you'll make up for it. But here's the problem that Munger spent hours explaining to his business partners and investors. It's not about the 50 Rs. It never was. It's about the behavior pattern you're reinforcing each time you make these apparently insignificant small decisions. And when you take a calculator and project these small slip-ups over 20 or 30 years, the number that appears on the screen is frightening. The invisible cost of small habits. Let's do the math honestly, without romanticizing. Suppose you have the habit of spending only 200 reais per month on superfluous things. We're not talking about big extravagances, just those small impulse purchases, the streaming you forgot to cancel, the special coffee every day, the delivery app when you could cook. It's only 200 reais after all. In 1 year, that represents 2,400 Rs. Seems manageable, right? The problem is that most people stop the analysis right here. Munger didn't. He always asked, what if that money were invested? What if, instead of spending these 200 reais monthly, you put them to work in your favor? Considering a conservative average return of 10% per year, which is perfectly achievable in the long term, through well-structured investments, these 200 reais monthly would transform into approximately 150,000 reais in 20 years. But here's the detail that few people notice. If you maintain that investment for just 10 more years, reaching 30 total years, that value easily surpasses 400,000 reais. And if we increase that calculation a bit, let's say it's not 200, but 300 Rs monthly in unnecessary expenses. In 30 years, with the same parameters, we're talking about more than 600,000 Rs that simply evaporated in very short-term decisions. The psychology behind the mistake Charlie Munger was fascinated by behavioral psychology. He understood that human beings are, by nature, terrible at visualizing long-term consequences. Our mind was programmed for immediate survival, to solve the problem in front of us, to seek pleasure now and avoid pain now. We didn't have, in the African savannah, to worry about retirement or compound interest. This mismatch between our mental programming and the demands of the modern world is what Munger called present bias. We systematically overvalue immediate gratification and undervalue future gains. That's why it's so difficult to resist that purchase now, even knowing rationally that we should save the money. But there's another, even more perverse element in this equation: the illusion that it's just this once. Our brain is extraordinarily good at creating justifications. There's always a reason why today is different, why this specific purchase makes sense, why tomorrow you'll start saving for real. Munger observed that the best investors weren't necessarily the most intelligent or those who had access to privileged information. They were those who could control their impulses, who understood that wealth isn't about earning a lot, but about not losing in stupid ways. The cascade effect of daily decisions. Here's something most people don't realize. Bad habits don't just cost the direct money you spend. They have an opportunity cost multiplied in several ways. First, there's the money you spent that you can no longer invest. Second, there's the return that money would generate over time. Third, there's the return on the return, the famous compound interest that Einstein supposedly called the most powerful force in the universe. It'd be fourth, and perhaps most important, there's the cost of maintaining a mental pattern of immediate gratification. When you give in to the impulse to spend today, you're training your brain to give in again tomorrow. Each bad decision makes the next bad decision a little easier. It's like a muscle you exercise, just in the wrong direction. Munger used to say that habits are like cables. You add one wire per day, and soon they become unbreakable. The problem is that this applies to both good and bad habits. Every time you choose unnecessary spending instead of saving, you're strengthening the cable of destructive behavior. The brutal mathematics of reality? Let's look at more specific and realistic numbers. Think of someone 30 years old who earns 5,000 reais per month. It's not an extraordinary salary, but it's not little either. This person has two options ahead. In the first option, they maintain a lifestyle with small excesses here and there. A dinner out per week that costs 300 reais. Clothes they don't really need but were on sale. Uber when they could take the bus. iFood when they could cook. In total, let's say it's 500 reais per month in expenses that with a little discipline would be avoidable. In the second option, they cut these excesses and invest these 500 reais monthly. It doesn't need to be anything sophisticated. A good index fund would be enough. Fast forwarding 30 years to when this person is 60 years old, the difference between these two scenarios is approximately 1 million reais. 1 million. Not because they won the lottery or because they made a risky investment that worked out, simply because they chose to delay gratification and let time do its work. But there's an even more important detail. This 1 million isn't just a number in a bank account. It represents freedom. It represents the possibility of saying no to a job you hate. It represents being able to retire when you want, not when you're forced to. It represents not depending on children or the government in old age. The warning signs we ignore. Munger was a master at identifying patterns of self-destructive behavior. He said that most people know exactly what they should do, but can't force themselves to do it. And there are very clear signs that you're on the wrong path. The first sign is when you catch yourself using credit to finance lifestyle. Credit card isn't extra money, it's future money you're bringing to the present. Every time you make installment payments for something that isn't essential, you're in practice betting that your future will be better than your present. And statistically, for most people, this isn't true. The second sign is when you don't know exactly where your money is going. If you earn 3,000 reais and at the end of the month 50 remain, but you can't explain where the other 2,950 went, you have a serious control problem. The third sign is when you justify expenses saying, "I deserve it," or "I worked hard for this." Munger would say you probably do deserve it, yes, but the question isn't whether you deserve it, it's whether you can afford it. And more importantly, whether you're willing to pay the opportunity cost of that decision. The paradox of modern abundance. We live in a unique era of human history. It has never been so easy to spend money. With a few taps on your phone, you can buy practically anything and receive it at home the next day. Companies spend billions on psychological research to understand exactly how to hack our impulses and make us buy more. Munger saw this with crystal clarity. He understood that the modern world is a minefield of financial temptations. Each advertisement, each offer, each promotion is carefully designed to exploit our psychological weaknesses. And most people have no defenses against this. The solution, according to him, isn't to try to have infinite willpower. Willpower is a limited resource that depletes throughout the day. The solution is to create systems and environments that make correct decisions automatic and wrong decisions difficult. This means deleting shopping apps from your phone. It means unsubscribing from store newsletters. It means setting up automatic transfers to investments on the day salary drops, before you have a chance to spend. It means creating friction between you and your impulse purchases. The fallacy of living in the moment. One of the most common justifications people give for spending impulsively is that they need to enjoy life and live in the moment. After all, they argue, what's the point of saving money if you could die tomorrow? Munger would have a dry answer for that. You probably won't die tomorrow. The statistical chances are that you'll live until 70, 80 years old. And if you get there without money, without preparation, without resources, the last 20 or 30 years of your life will be of unnecessary suffering. Furthermore, there's a fundamental confusion between enjoying life and spending money. Research on happiness is consistent. After a certain point, more consumption doesn't generate more happiness. What generates happiness is relationships, purpose, autonomy, mastery of skills. And ironically, having financial security gives you much more of these things than buying one more outfit or one more electronic device. True freedom doesn't come from being able to buy what you want when you want. It comes from not needing anything, from not being a slave to artificial desires created by advertising, from being able to choose how to spend your time without worrying about money, how to reverse the pattern. The good news is that just as bad habits accumulate, good habits do too. And you don't need a radical transformation overnight. Munger was a big advocate of incremental and consistent improvements. Start small. Instead of trying to cut all superfluous expenses at once, choose one. Maybe it's the 20 Rs coffee every day. Make coffee at home, take it in a thermos. That's 400 Rs per month you just freed up. After this first habit is consolidated, add another. Cancel that subscription you don't use. Cook at home one more time per week. Sell that thing that's gathering dust in the closet. These are small victories that accumulate. The most important thing is to develop what Munger called investor mentality. This means seeing each reel not for what it can buy today, but for what it can become tomorrow. Those 20 Rs for coffee aren't just 20 Rs. They're 20 Rs that invested for 30 years can transform into 300 Rs. Munger's legacy for Brazilians. Charlie Munger died at 99 years old in 2023, leaving a legacy of wisdom about money and life. But his lessons are especially relevant for Brazilians for a specific reason. We live in a country of low financial education, high historical inflation, and immediate consumption culture. For decades, saving money in Brazil was synonymous with losing money to inflation. This created a mentality of spend it now before it loses value. But the world has changed. We have access today to investments that protect from inflation and generate real returns. The problem is that the mentality hasn't changed at the same speed. Munger would say that it doesn't matter which country you're in, the laws of mathematics and human behavior are the same. Compound interest works the same way in Brazil and in the United States. The difference is that here, perhaps, the impact is even greater because the social safety net is more fragile. Not having money saved in Brazil doesn't just mean not being able to retire comfortably. It means depending on an overburdened public health system. It means not having a way to help your children. It means being vulnerable to any economic crisis. And we know that crises aren't the exception around here. The choice that defines decades. At the end of the day, it all comes down to a simple choice you make repeatedly, every day. Do you choose immediate pleasure or future well-being? Do you choose to impress people who probably don't even care about you, or build real security? Do you choose to be one more person who complains that the system is unfair, or be someone who, within the rules of the game, plays well? Munger had no patience for victimization. He recognized that the world is unfair, that some people start with enormous advantages, but he also firmly believed that each person has agency over their decisions. And even if you can't control how much you earn, you can control how much you spend. This mistake of 200,000 Rs, or 100,000 or 50,000, depending on your specific numbers, doesn't happen in one day. It's not an isolated, catastrophic decision. It's the accumulation of thousands of apparently harmless small decisions. It's today's delivery, tomorrow's Uber, next week's outfit, next month's credit card installment. Each of these decisions seems too small to matter, and individually maybe it doesn't matter, but collectively, over decades, they define whether you'll end your life with options or without options, with freedom or with dependence, with dignity or with despair. The question Munger would ask is, are you willing to pay that price? Because in the end, you will pay. Either you pay the price of discipline, which is light and is paid in the present, or you pay the price of regret, which is heavy and is paid in the future. But a bill always comes. The only choice you have is which one you prefer to face.